15 trending patterns. 14 of them are less than a month old. 3 belong to one single designer. 2 are officially somebody's Rhinebeck sweater, and it is August. And 6 of them are free or on sale right now, which is not a coincidence. And I'll prove it. I just got back from Flock Fiber Festival in Seattle. 100 vendors, 2 floors, 1 credit card in visible distress. This month, the charts aren't just telling us what people are knitting. They're telling us what people are chasing this weekend. Let's go get it. Hi, I'm Arletta. Welcome back to Ignite Your Inner Artist. I just got back from Flock Fiber Festival in Seattle, and I'm still finding yarn in places yarn should not be. Every month, we break down Ravelry's top 20. This month, I did the shopping and the number crunching in the same weekend, which explains a few purchases I will be defending in the comments. 3 chases this month: the Sure Thing, the Showstopper, and the Souvenir. Let's get into it. Chase number 1, the Sure Thing. 8 of this month's 20 are patterns that promise you a win. Beginner-rated tees, fur sweaters, quick layering pieces. When life is loud, knitters buy certainty. There's no shame in that. There's actually a lot of self-respect in it, knowing what you can finish and choosing it on purpose. That's not playing small. That's knowing your own value. Section 1 starts with the pattern that refuses to leave the charts. Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, published in 2017, 36,000 projects, 16,000 cues, still trending 9 years later. That's not a pattern, that's an institution. The trick is flexibility. A top-down round yoke pullover with a yoke that looks like layers of stacked necklaces, lace and texture. Short rows front and back for a soft boat neck. Knit in lace weight for something airy and transparent. Or hold 2 strands for structured and cozy. Every time thousands of people walk into a marketplace holding one gorgeous skein with no plan, ranunculus trends. Which is to say, it trends every festival weekend. Forever, the step-by-step sweater. Free, beloved, nearly 20,000 projects. A 4.9 rating from over 5,000 knitters. This is the internet's first sweater. A top-down raglan. No complicated techniques, relaxed fit, 2 neckline options, and a full companion video walking you through every tricky step. Optional stripes, optional short rows, weight wool, and alpaca on big needles, so it grows fast enough to keep a new garment knitter believing in themselves. If you've ever stood in a marketplace thinking everyone here knows something I don't, they don't. Half of them started with this exact pattern. Free pattern, big needles, video hand-holding. That's not a trend, that's a public service. Next, the Heat-Eye Tee from German designer Rosa P. Brand new this month and already sitting in over 80 cues. It's a straight cut tee with a classic crew neck. Knit seamlessly from the top down so you can try it on as you go. The shoulders are shaped with short rows. The fronts knit directly off the shoulders, and it finishes with delicate, barely there edgings at the neck, sleeves, and hem. Rated for confident beginners with video tutorials for every tricky bit. It's minimalist, breathable, and the kind of tee you'll reach for 3 times a week and forget you made. That's not boring. That's a sure thing. The Sabai Top by Suzanne Moeller. The boat neck tank quietly racking up numbers since 2024. Nearly 11,000 projects, and at one point this summer, more cues than projects. Sabai is Thai for comfortable, relaxed, and it delivers. Works seamlessly top down, rib neckline first, slanted shoulder increases, joined in the round with a narrow ribbed hem. The technique list is basically increases. That's it. Rated ideal for beginners. Top down means you try it on as you knit. Wants a drapey DK, 200 to 400 grams. Some patterns trend because they're clever. This one trends because it works. The Rolled Raglan by Jules Efterfield. New this month from the designer behind the roomy Raglan family. Nearly 2,000 projects on the original, so this launch came with a built-in audience. The pitch? A structured, cropped, boxy pullover worked top down, meant to be worn seriously oversized. 8 to 15 inches of positive ease. The collar rolls on purpose. German short rows shape the neckline. 3x1 rib and rolled hems finish it off. No color work, no lace, no charts. Just fabric discipline. A dense Aran wool held single. Sport merino held double, or heavyweight cotton held double. Big needles, big ease, big couch energy. Cast on Friday. Wear it to the farmer's market in 2 weeks. Now, the older sibling of a pattern you'll meet in section 2. The Flock Vest by Andrea Mowry, released back in May with an annual knit-along behind it. This is the layering piece of the year so far. 70 plus projects, over 400 cues, climbing again this week for obvious geographic reasons. Work top down and seamless from the back neck, with a cropped or full-length option, a V-neck, a buttoned front, and clever one-row stripes in 3. Twisted German cast-on, tubular bind-off, real buttonholes. Sounds scary. Isn't. Wear it buttoned as a tank or open over a tee. Small yardage, big wardrobe payoff. That's a sure thing. It needs 3 to 4 buttons, and there was an entire booth of tiny wooden ones at Flock. I saw them. I resisted, mostly. The Nude Slipover by Svetlana Volkova. Published in January and steadily climbing all year. This is the cloud layer garment. A simple, top-down, seamless slipover in brushed alpaca and silk. Mostly air, if we're being honest. The silhouette is minimal, the halo does the talking, and the yardage is almost insultingly small. The smallest sizes take about 300 yards. 2 or 3 of those little 25-gram clouds. It layers over shirt jackets, weighs nothing, and it's the quick win. Designers running a 50% off code this month, which is doing exactly what discounts do to trend charts. Here's the thing about festival season. It has a homework assignment. It's called the Festival Sweater. 2 designers turned theirs in early this year, and the whole leaderboard moved. Section 2 is where ambition lives. Buckle up. Chase number 2, the Showstopper. Rhinebeck sweaters announced in August. Saddle shoulders, all over colorwork, 4-color stranding. This is a section where you knit something that teaches you something. And here's what I want you to notice. The 2 biggest patterns in this section had their exact sample yarns at booths in that same room. The Trend Economy and the Festival Economy were the same economy this weekend. I was standing inside the chart. Section 2 opens with the pattern that's basically the mascot of the building, the Flock Pullover by Andrea Mowry. Released 2 days before I got there, it already had 20 projects and nearly 200 cues. This is the pullover follow-up to her Flock Fest. Construction nerds, this one's for you. It combines a saddle shoulder with a drop shoulder, worked top down for a gentle drop hem in the back without extra fuss. Playful stripes in 3 colors, seamless throughout, techniques reading like a greatest hits album. Provisional cast on, German short rows, Kitchener stitch, tubular details, classic worsted corridel in the sample, soft but sturdy, heirloom grade wool. When a designer drops a sweater named Flock the same week as Flock Fiber Festival, that's not an accident. That's a campaign, and honestly, it worked. On me, at least. Now, the heavyweight bout of Section 2, Antipodes. Andrea Mowry's official Rhinebeck sweater for 2026. Anchor of her 9th annual Rhinebeck Knit-Along. 300 projects. Over 800 cues in 3 weeks. She calls it her showstopper of the year, and the spec sheet backs her up. Saddle shoulder construction, stripes, stranded colorwork, Faux seams borrowed from the Weekender work seamlessly top down. This is a sweater with a syllabus. Here's the part that mattered on location. The main color is Farmer's Daughter Fibers Confluence, a bouncy targy Rambouillet wool with a touch of cotton, booth 45. The contrast is Spin Cycles Dyed in the Wool, booth 38. The exact sample yarns for the biggest festival of the season were both at that festival, about 20 feet apart. I'll let you guess whether my wallet made it out intact. Breaking news from the East Coast desk. Rhinebeck sweaters entered the chat in August, and the first was a Waystone sweater by Alicia Plummer. She calls it her Rhinebeck 2026 sweater. Launched that week with an introductory discount, 83 projects overnight. The Waystone is an oversized sweatshirt of a sweater. Weathered, rigid texture, flowing into classic ribbing, worked bottom up. Shoulders joined by a 3-needle bind-off for strength. Half brioche, which gives you that squishy broken-in fabric. And fair warning, brioche is hungry. The full-length version can eat over 3,000 yards in the upper sizes. It wants a sheepy woolen spun yarn that smells like a barn in the best way. Mitchell Wool's Huron DK is one suggested yarn, and Mitchell Wool Company was set up at booth 64. The Maine Woods aesthetic, purchasable in Seattle. That's supply chain magic. Here's one for the color theorists. The Simultaneous Sweater by Megan Monroe. New this month, the name comes from simultaneous contrast and how colors change each other side by side. And this sweater is a wearable experiment in it. 4 colors all over striped, stranded colorwork, compound raglan shaping, and unusual angled sleeve detail with real design school energy. Most of the colorwork is in the round, with some short rows worked flat early on, so it'll stretch you without breaking you. It calls for DK Superwash Merino. The suggested yarn is Explorer Knits Rockies DK, and Explorer Knits was set up at booth 39. The green sample uses their collaboration with Spin Cycle, which was next door. This was the most shoppable pattern in the entire top 20, and knitters knew it. Full Bloom by Rachel Ilsley of Unkind Knitwear, new this month. Most yoke sweaters give you a colorwork crown and send you off to stockinette purgatory. Full Bloom says no. The flowers go everywhere. Top down circular yoke all over stranded colorwork, continuing down the entire body and both sleeves. Every single round is a 2-color round. The designer even engineered the charts so the jog at the center back disappears. It's obsessive, and I respect it. German short rows tune the fit. Yoke depth is customizable, graded across 10 sizes. You'll need 2 sport weight yarns with serious contrast. The sample pairs a near black mane with deep red, and the flowers glow. This is the pattern for the knitter whose hands get bored easily and whose heart wants a garden.
Next, the Vega sweater, the brand new release from Petite Knit. And when Petite Knit releases anything, the algorithm holds its breath. Vega dropped that week in 12 languages. Don't let the plain stockinette fool you. This is rated 4 out of 5 on her own difficulty scale, and it's all in the construction. Rows and increases, then shoulders picked from the yoke, then stitches picked up again for the rest of the yoke. Contiguous style architecture that fits like tailoring. The neckband is double knit before settling into 2x2 rib. It's a tight, dense knit in a heavy DK, a real-time commitment at Showstopper. Nobody will know why it fits so well. You will. Closing out section 2. The Technique Curiosity of the Month, the dot top from Swiss designer P1.zip. Yes, the designer's name is a file format. The pattern is even better. This sleeveless top is worked sideways in nothing but knit and purl rows. Through a technique called shadow knitting, subtle dots appear and disappear depending on the angle you're viewed from. Straight on, solid stripes. From the side, polka dots. It's an optical illusion you can wear, done entirely with skills a second week knitter has. It takes 2 contrasting DK cottons. Contrast is everything here. The designer's tip. which I'm stealing forever. Photograph your 2 yarns in black and white. If they blur together, the dots vanish. High value contrast or no magic. 154 projects and 734 cues say the magic is winning. That's the Showstopper chase. Big skills, big yardage, big feelings. But maybe you looked at 3,000 yards of half brioche and felt tired in your soul. Section 3 is for you. Chase number 3, the Souvenir. One-Skein shawls, socks, a beanie that takes 160 yards. Every single pattern in this section can be made from one beautiful thing you carry out of a festival in a paper bag. This is not the consolation section. Buying one perfect skein and actually using it, that might be the most functional relationship in this entire hobby. And it opens with La Tradesse by Natalie Dennis, a symmetric triangle shawl knit bottom up from one single skein of lace weight silk mohair. One skein, 400 meters, done. It alternates romantic lace with bands of moss stitch, worked at a deliberately huge gauge, so the fabric comes out weightless and airy, like knitting a rumor. Charts and written instructions both included, and the designer calls it accessible to curious beginners. Here's the trend engine. To celebrate her birthday, the pattern was free through August 3rd. Free plus mohair plus one skein equals a cue explosion every single time, and the mohair silk tables at Flock were dangerous, in case you wanted to match one. The Bay Shawlette by Suki.knits. And this one is free, which explains a lot about this week's numbers. Quaintel lace shawlette worked flat from the widest edge, tapering as you go. The rows get shorter as your attention span does, which I consider extremely respectful design. 2 ending options, a soft rounded edge or a pointed triangle tip. Finish with a crochet frill border, so your crochet hook finally gets to leave the notions pouch. Rated for novices and keen beginners. About 440 yards of fingering weight. One good skein and change. One weekend on the couch. One very charming little neck accessory. The Souvenir economy is alive and well. Here's the wild card of section 3. The Papagena Scarf by Sybil R. A deep cut, free, published back in 2016, surfacing this month, which is the fun part of trend watching. Sometimes the algorithm digs up a classic because the yarn it was built for is suddenly everywhere. An unusual technique you almost never see. Knits modular diamonds that join as you go, so the gradient shifts across the whole scarf like plumage. Named after Mozart's birdcatcher girl, and it does look like feathers. About 600 to 800 meters of fingering with a long, slow color change. There was a booth at Flock built entirely on slow shifting color. Spin cycle. Booth 38. This pattern was waiting 9 years for a marketplace like that one. Section 3 continues with socks, because it's not a trends report without socks. The Ravelry socks by Summer Lee. New this month from the designer behind the Cuff Club collections and the 12,000 project I'm So Basic socks. Ravelry is a fancy cousin. Cuff down, a lace and mock cable pattern down the leg and foot. Proper heel flap and gusset. 4 sizes based on your actual foot circumference. And launch discount running through the weekend. The mock cables give you the twisty look without ever picking up a cable needle. It's all clever decreases. An ideal first step past plain vanilla socks. 230 to 300 yards of light fingering. That's one sock set skein. Purchasable from any direction you'd have pointed in that room. Socks are the official currency of fiber festivals. And this was the exchange rate. And our final pattern of the month. The Laguna Drift Beanie by Benjamin Matthews. 160 yards. One size fits most. One simple slipped stitch technique that creates a bold, rippling texture that looks far more complicated than it is. Slipped stitches are just stitches you don't knit, which makes this the only trend this month powered by doing less. The sample is knit in a sport weight merino cashmere blend, which at 160 yards means you can justify the fanciest small skein in the building. Buy one beautiful thing, wear it on your head by Wednesday. It was free with a code through the launch weekend, which is why it's charting, but here's my honest take. This is also just a genuinely good beanie from a designer who makes genuinely good beanies. Sometimes the trend data and the truth agree. It's nice when that happens. So, the sure thing. The Showstopper the Souvenir. 20 patterns, 3 chases. And here's the takeaway I want to leave you with. Half this chart is on sale and sales end, but none of these patterns trended on price alone. They trended because they met somebody exactly where they are. Your value isn't measured by which section you're chasing. It's in choosing your next cast on honestly, tired, ambitious, or somewhere in between, and letting that be enough. That's the whole report. And yes, that's Cora on the clock and unbothered. She has inspected the B-roll and rated it 2 tail rigs out of a possible 2. She's a professional. We don't argue with professionals. Which chase are you in right now? Sure Thing, Showstopper, or Souvenir? Drop your section and your cast on in the comments below. And if you want to see what actually followed me home from the marketplace, the Full Flock blog is coming out next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it.